Roll call.
Present.
Present. Present.
Sino Country. Senator Councilman
Present.
Senator Clayton Ward Mountain.
Present.
Liberian County. Senator J. Rebel Brown. Senator James P. Daniel. Grand Kidman County. Senator Sima Boyman Taylor.
Present.
Senator Jabba M. Tabla.
Present.
Lima County. Senator Prince Mark Johnson. One County. Senator Prince Kevin Williams.
Present. Don't walk on there. Present.
Senator Tony A. Craig.
Present.
Lima County. Senator Prince Y. Johnson. Senator Yan D. Twain.
Present.
Then Judea County. Senator Zoe Maya Pena. Senator Thomas Diane Nile.
Present.
Yopa County. Senator Joseph K. Jala. Senator Monty Saros. Mommy County. Senator Evan Mary Snow. Senator Edith Janessa Salo.
Present.
Mike D. County. Senator Anthony Imaya James Newboy. Senator Nathaniel F. Michael.
Present.
Ross's County. Senator Wellington G. Von Smith. Senator Bill T. Kwame. Greg County. Senator Professor Albert Bashir.
Present.
Senator Lele P. H. Patikwa. Robert G. County. Senator Jacob Borja Segway.
Present.
Senator Francis Zeddy Boko II. Babolo County. Senator Boto Kane. And Senator Kamara M. Kane.
Present.
The Liberian Senate. The Liberian Senate. Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. 30th day regular sitting, the first section of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia, Thursday, June 27, 2024. Agenda and order of business. 1. Call to order. 2. Devotion. 3. Roll call. 4. Reading and adoption of the agenda. 5. Unfinished business. 6. Report from standing committees. A. Report from the Committee on Judicial, Human Rights Claims and Petitions on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Councillor Lamin Bago, Chairman and Commissioner Designate, Ombudsman Commission. Report from the Committee on Judicial, Human Rights Claims and Petitions on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Councillor Jared D. K. Dalawo, Assistant Minister for Litigation Designate, Minister of Justice. Report from the Committee on Autonomous Commission and Agencies on the confirmation hearing of Honorable James Fomoya, Chairman Designate, Liberian National Commission on Small Arms. Report from the Committee on Internal Affairs, Governance and Reconciliation on the confirmation hearings of local government officials designated for Mossorado County. Report from the Committee on Internal Affairs, Governance and Reconciliation on the confirmation hearings of local government officials designated of Sando County. F. Report from the Ad Hoc Committee on CTN contract between the government of Liberia and Global Tracking Maritime Solution. 7. Business on President's Days. A. Communications from the President of the Republic of Liberia. B. Amendment of the Senate rules. C. Communication from Senator Daba M. Vapla of Grand Cape Bon County regarding complaints on wildlife invasion on farms and communities in Gola Kwanen District, Grand Cape Bon County. And D. Communication from Senator Besanga Milton Philip of Grand Bassett requesting excuse of absence, 8 AOB and 9 adjournment. Madam President, Pro Tempore and Presiding Officer, the reading of the draft agenda for today's sitting.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading of the draft agenda for today's sitting. What is your will and pleasure? Senator Dollar.
I move back and say the second that the agenda just read the for discussion.
They have been moved and seconded that the agenda just read is open for discussion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. And nay. Any intervention? Senator Joseph.
Madam President and colleagues, I overheard the Ministry of Finance, in particular the Minister, informing the people of Liberia and the IMF team that the VAT tax bill have been passed into law. And to my knowledge, police here, we said that, no, it was never passed. We said we wanted all details, and I'm a member of the Ways and Means Committee. And all members are aware here that the VAT tax bill having been passed into law. And LRA and the Ministry of Finance should stop misleading the people of Liberia on that information. So I wanted to give that as information to this body for to discuss. Another thing is that the national budget, Madam Presiding, we need a copy of the national budget. They are misleading information that let's put it on AOB. Yeah, no, not AOB. Let's discuss the issue of the national budget.
What's that?
The national budget.
All right, but if the tax law was passed.
No, it was never passed, Madam Presiding. No, Madam Presiding, it was never passed. No, I was present. It was never passed. It never passed. No, we said with the 18%. No, we said we had a discussion here. We said we were going to get all details. It was never passed into law. That's what the budget is. We never pass it. No. So Mr. Chairman, Ways and Means, stop giving the details. It was never passed. It was never passed into law. Look at the agenda. It was never passed. The police said it was never passed. It was never passed. No. The agenda never passed. It never passed. We're going to come and discuss it. Never pass. Another thing is that, Madam Presiding, I see no reason why the government of Liberia should be pick and choosing, most especially for foreign service workers. Foreign service workers, until the presiding can.
No, but that's what
Yeah, foreign service workers, some of them have the salary have been put on hold.
What are you debating?
Yeah, the one
so I just have what I write. So that's enough. Completely after the plenary.
No, I said I want to
We'll look at the VAT tax from the journal and
Madam President, this is an emergency situation.
no, what I write is not emergency. You
People have been placed, our citizens have been placed on the street.
Put that in writing.
No, I want to ask for the national budget, they approve budget, but sign us.
President, my AOP is the issue of LEC acquiring a loan in the tune of 36 million.
Is it already on the floor?
No, I want to.
What are you writing? You know, what I write? Send us over.
So, Bossman, I want to close. So, the way they portray it. So, on the business, on the process. But I put them on business on President's desk. B, amendment of the Senate rule. I think we should take it from the agenda because according to our rules, 66 of the Senate standing rule, under the caption amendment, it says that all proposed amendments must be circulated to all senators 1 week prior to calling it on the floor. This proposed amendment has not been on the floor. Circulated for 1 week, so we can have it today.
And it's not our entire group that we build consensus on the provisions. The Senate also agreed yesterday that because we built consensus on the provisions, the Secretary of Senate who has circulated those provisions that we built consensus on also debated today. So we've done more than what the group is saying.
Yes, that's true.
We've done more than what the group is saying. The only thing I want to know, the Secretary of Senate do the provision?
Yes.
Huh?
Business of President's text. Business of President's text. Communications from the Presidents of Liberia. First one. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yombly Colonel Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, in section. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit here with the following nominations, pending Senate confirmation where applicable for appointment in government. Sino County. DARIUS Shaje Nangwe Sr., Statutory Superintendent, Banyan Statutory District. Alfred J. Jawu, Commissioner, Numopo District, Banyan Statutory District. Augustine K. Chie, Commissioner, Banyan District, Banyan Statutory District. S. Camboy Smith, Commissioner, Petro District, Banyan Statutory District. H. Warrant Cooper, Commissioner, Greenville District, Banyan Statutory District. Bestman Webe, Commissioner, Home Township, Banyan Statutory District. Mentu Se, Commissioner, Menwa Township, Banyan Statutory District. Anthony 12, Commissioner, Double Township, Banyan Statutory District. Daddy Tote, Commissioner, Cedar Township, Banyan Statutory District. Nehemiah Snell, Commissioner, Blunt'ville Township, Banyan Statutory District. Stanton Beach, Commissioner, Lexington Township, Banyan Statutory District. Samuel B. Strutter, Commissioner, Louisiana Township, Banyan Statutory District. Sewon Ward, Commissioner, Farmerville Township, Banyan Statutory District. Peter N. Jebo, Commissioner, Water Township, Banyan Statutory District. Joseph James, Commissioner, Longville Township, Banyan Statutory District. Blair Bali, Commissioner, Setu Township, Banyan Statutory District. Chancellor B. Jawi, Commissioner, Jawi Township, Banyan Statutory District. Lawson Dio, Commissioner, Kamayan Township, Banyan Statutory District. Alfred Jab, Commissioner, Dua Woli, Yenu Township, Banyan Statutory District. Philip N. Ward, Mayor, Dekilo City. Oliver 12, Mayor, 12 years City.
But you read the whole thing, and it already been submitted. The only thing you do is to read the one that was denied. The 17 that was denied.
Oliver 12, Mayor, 12 City. Prince Derry Nimland, Mayor, Tobotville City. George S. Tennant, Commissioner, Gerard District, Dubai River Statutory District. Gabriel N. Wisset, Commissioner, Sabo District, Dubai River Statutory District. Do Keke Do, Commissioner, Prague District, Dubai River Sanitary District. Charles Tiki, Commissioner, Lower Tuo Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. Now Wale, Commissioner, Bakra Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. Peter Blake, Commissioner, Menwa Walker Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. Macaulay Nangbe, Commissioner, Swanport Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. T. Anis Slad III, Commissioner, Kekwipo Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. Soret Sakor, Commissioner, Jamaica Township, Dubai Sanitary District. Dolly D. Do, Commissioner, Badi Dwell Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. K12 Slavion, Commissioner, Bata Township, Dubai River Sanitary District. P. Alexander S. Slab, Mayor, Kakopo City. Jeremiah Swen, Mayor, Balapo City. Solomon S. Tefle, Mayor, Swanport City. Emmanuel David Manning, Mayor, Bakra City. Darius Kier, Mayor, Menwe Walker City. Eugene M. Swen, Mayor, Nyamport City. Alex Nawle, Mayor, Cromwell City. Christian Swen, Commissioner, Tar Jeripo District, Jeripo Sanitary District. Alex Jar, Commissioner, Jobo District, Jeripo Sanitary District. Nofoko Johnson, Commissioner, Sway District, Jeripo Sanitary District. Jared Cartel, Commissioner, Dubocon District, Jeripo Sanitary District. Wilfred Bly, Mayor, Duke of Free City. J.J. Wisset, Mayor, Nyanasu City. Otelo Snell, Mayor, Ketreken City. Paul Wisset, Mayor, Joko Cree City. Tobo Tua Wule, Mayor, Duduwaken City. Alex Piso, Mayor, Britican City. Nelson Ted, Commissioner, Jabuken Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. Azet Jechine, Commissioner, Jogoken Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. Edwin Q. Slaw, Commissioner, Vatican Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. James N. Komote, Commissioner, Jeribu Township, Jeribu Sanitary District. Otis Penno, Commissioner, Duduwaken Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. Elijah Snell, Commissioner, Swen Dumukuen Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. Milton P. Tumo, Commissioner, Vatican Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. Jared Dwell, Commissioner, Wutu One Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. John B. Webb, Commissioner, Jaboville Township, Jadibo Sanitary District. Leviticus S. Tappet, Sanitary Superintendent, Jeddah Sanitary District. S. Wea Tapla, Commissioner, Jedikwe District, Jeddah Sanitary District. D. Walati Boyi, Commissioner, Jeddah District, Jeddah Sanitary District. Sylvester M. Wiset, Commissioner, Bokon District, Jeddah Sanitary District. Nathaniel Kume, Commissioner, Nini Municipality, Jeddah Sanitary District. Alice K. Kofa, Commissioner, Bode District, Jeddah Sanitary District. Tapet Dowon, Commissioner, Sion Bagville District, Jeddah Sanitary District. H. Do Kofa, Commissioner, Lower Bonkon Township, Jeddah Sanitary District. Christopher Youngway, Commissioner, Bokon Township, JD Statutory District. Melvin Lee Doe, Commissioner, Monsusu Municipality, JD Statutory District. Philip D. Swen, Commissioner, Jackie Ken Township, JD Statutory District. H. Kofa Doe, Commissioner, DMO Township, JD Statutory District. Isaac Doe, Commissioner, Bodubu Township, JD Statutory District. Naomi Gray, Mayor, Jijipo City. George Tapler, Mayor, Dugu City. T. Barwin Swen, Mayor, Jaka Ken City. Adolphus Babe, Mayor, Tuzon Burn City. Helena S. Sako, Mayor, TDN City. Samkai O. Eastern Tupa, Commissioner, Juazon District, Juazon Statutory District. Elijah J. Capet, Commissioner, Central Juazon District, Juazon Statutory District. Vesta Jaji, Commissioner, Upper Juazon District, Juazon Statutory District. Talbot Norman, Mayor, Blibo Cree City. Milton Pine, Mayor, Baswen City. Doris Jar, Commissioner, Nidoware Township, Juazon Statutory District. Angeline Fale, Commissioner, Baseba Township, Juazon Statutory District. Paola Sewia, Statutory Superintendent, Seacom Statutory District. Nathaniel Fale, Commissioner. Paola Sewia, Statutory Superintendent, Seacom Statutory District. Nathaniel Fale, Commissioner, Jubo District, Seacom Statutory District. United Crown, Commissioner, Pigedo District, Seacom Statutory District. Friday Ye, Commissioner, Tony District, Seacom Statutory District. Dewe Sedi, Commissioner, Plenson Job District, Seacom Statutory District. Amen. Helena Fale, Mayor, Benedict Labo City. Reverend Samson Kana, Mayor, Mexico City. Rufus Grillo, Mayor, Judu City. Christina William, Mayor, Bubadi City. George Kowu, Mayor, Plivocon City. Isaac Koto, Commissioner, Tobo Township, Seacom Statutory District. Catherine Robert, Commissioner, Sewia Township, Seacom Statutory District. Dewe Peter, Commissioner, Slawowo Township, Seacom Statutory District. Lawrence Yabo, Commissioner, Zoe Sedi Township, Seacom Statutory District. Kweku Kwile, Statutory Superintendent, Wakaba Statutory District. Stephen Douglas, Commissioner, Upper Webjab District, Wakaba Statutory District. Kula Wia, Commissioner, Upper Gabaji District, Wakaba Statutory District. Annie Ward, Commissioner, Lower Gabaji District, Wakaba Statutory District. Felicia Capet, Mayor, Balawin City. Grace Fale, Mayor, Rawia City. Daniel Sena, Mayor, Shadi City. Thomas Snell, Mayor, Bajubo City. Joseph Telu, Mayor, Tibio City. Joseph S. Tier, Mayor, Titi Jewe City. Ophelia Bodo, Mayor, Flan City. Edwin Foa, Commissioner, Hilo Township, Wakabat Statutory District. Ellis Publi, Commissioner, Pulabeville Township, Wakabat Statutory District. Victoria F. Jar, Commissioner, Mad 48 Township, Wakabat Statutory District. Peter Kerr, Commissioner, Pulu District, Tajuwon Statutory District. Nathan Blow, Commissioner, Plan District, Tajuwon Statutory District. Philip Q. Panto, Commissioner, Shawbo District, Tajuwon Statutory District. Sylvester B. Black, Commissioner, Nyan District, Tajuwon Statutory District. Wilbert Pony, Mayor, Clarksville City. Ruth Mapuche, Mayor, Jacksonville City, Jacksonville City. Thomas Niwley, Mayor, Simijela City. Napoleon Kingston, Mayor, Best New Woolley City. Dixon Bodia, Mayor, Brita City. Samuel K. George, Commissioner, Mayaville Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Timothy Sema, Commissioner, Nyamville Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Josephus T. Deji, Commissioner, Wville Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Sadie Bio, Commissioner, Shaw David Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Duncan Tajubu, Commissioner, Kingston Weber Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. John T. Tote, Commissioner, Upper Nyan Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Paulson Talley, Commissioner, Niwe Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Agent Wanja, Commissioner, Samuelville Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Morris Biwaye, Commissioner, Biwaye Township, Tajuwon Statutory District. Andarin S. Weir, Commissioner, Gitro District, Sanquin Statutory District. Solomon Wule, Commissioner, Toto Duo District, Sanquin Statutory District. Arthur Pine, Commissioner, Tazu Cabo District, Sanquin Statutory District. Titus Johnson, Mayor, Tobacville City. Rose F. Gayen, Mayor, Kewie City. Mark Thiago, Mayor, Tonita City. Hotel Wule, Mayor, Panwan City. Mary Jibe, Mayor, Baiman City. Heron Wallow, Commissioner, Toto Township, Sanquin Statutory District. Heron Pona, Commissioner, Gitro Township, Sanquin Statutory District. Abraham Bue, Commissioner, Nikwe Township, Sanquin Statutory District. Matthew Tapie, Commissioner, Upper Sanquin Township, Sanquin Statutory District. David Blake, Commissioner, Lower Sanquin Township, Sanquin Statutory District. Jerome D. Baye, Commissioner, Wutuken Township, Sanquin Statutory District. And Leo Na, Commissioner, Trode Township, Sanquin Statutory District. I would greatly appreciate were these to be given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Sincerely, Joseph Nima Boaka Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. Madam President and President Pro Tempore.
The Chamber College referred the reading of the communications of the President of Liberia, making many citizens So various positions in Sango County, what is the will of Senator Finlay?
Thank you, Pro Tem. We want to thank you and colleagues, thank the President for making the nomination. If I can obtain a second, I move that the President letter be received and that said communication be sent to the Internal Affairs Committee for confirmation proceedings. Report in 1 week. And Madam Pro Tem, we want to ask the request of the two senators from Sino to not bring any more district bill before us. Because here they got 10 plans. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Second communication from the Office of the President. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit herewith the following nominations, pending state Senate confirmation where applicable, for appointment in government. Grand Cape Mon County. Mr. Lawrence D. Brown, Statutory District Development Officer, Pokpa Wola Konen Statutory District. Ms. Asata Masakwe, Relieving Commissioner, Pokpa Wola Konen Statutory District. And Mr. Ray B. Dakose, District Inspector, Pokpa Wola Konen Statutory District. I would greatly appreciate were these to be given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards. Sincerely, Joseph Imam Bouaka Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. Second communication.
Distinguished colleagues, we've heard the reading of a communication nominating citizens to various positions in Cape Mon County. What is the will of the session? Senator Boyd.
Thank you.
regarding distinguished senators, having listened to a communication from the President of the Republic of Liberia, nominating citizens of Kitmore County in different positions, I move that if I can obtain a second, the communication just read be accepted and passed on to the Committee on Internal Affairs for report to the plenary. If I can receive a second.
It's been moved and seconded, and before restating the motion, are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Motion carried.
Yeah, pen.
Third communication from the President. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate in section. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit for ratification by the Honorable Legislature Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the establishment of an African Court on Human and People's Rights. The African Court on Human and People's Rights was established pursuant to Article 1 of the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the establishment of an African Court on Human and People's Rights, adopted in 1998 in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. The jurisdiction of the court shall extend to all cases and disputes submitted to it concerning the interpretation and application of the Charter, the Protocol, and any other relevant human rights instrument ratified by the states concerned. The protocol entered into force on the 25th of January 2004. The Republic of Liberia is one of those states that participated in the negotiation of the African Charter and the protocol establishing the court. Liberia signed the protocol on June 9, 1998, but has not ratified the protocol. As a member of the African Union, an organization with the objective to protect human and people's rights in accordance with the African Charter on Human and People's Rights and other relevant human rights instruments. The need to ratify this protocol cannot be overemphasized. Chapter 3, Article 2 of the Liberian Constitution clearly indicates our commitment to the protection of human rights as demonstrated by our participation in initiatives aiming at strengthening the normative and institutional framework of the international and regional human rights systems, and the inclusion of our Constitution of an enumeration of the fundamental rights that every person is entitled to, irrespective of ethnic background, race, sex, creed, place of origin, or political opinion. Honorable Pro Tempore and members, human rights issues have been a topic of discussion in our country every day. Most of our people have cried out that human rights violations have been left unpunished or disregarded. The ratification of this protocol would not just enable individuals and non-governmental organizations to access this international court, but will allow Liberia as a state party a chance to nominate judges in the bench of the court, thereby providing an opportunity to shape and contribute to the institutional setup of the court and strengthening its capacity to deal with human rights issues brought before it. In consideration thereof, I request that you ratify this instrument. Sincerely, Joseph Numa Boakat Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, and attached hereto is the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the establishment of an African Court on Human and People's Rights. Madam Presiding Officer, the next and last communication from the President of Liberia. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate in section, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to resubmit for ratification by the Honorable Legislature the Statute of the International Renewable Energy Agency, ARENA. ARENA was officially established in Bonn, Germany on January 26, 2009 to promote the widespread and increased adoption and sustainable use of all forms of renewable energy. Liberia participated in the founding conference of ARENA. However, it has been 15 years since, and Liberia has still not ratified the statute. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf submitted this statute to the legislature in 2010, but it was never acted upon. Again, former President George Manuel Weah resubmitted this instrument in 2022. Yet again, it was never acted upon. ARENA stands as the global voice for renewable energy and the energy transition. As the only intergovernmental organization dedicated exclusively to renewable energy, ARENA serves as a platform for international cooperation and repository of policy, technology, resource, and financial knowledge on renewable energy. It facilitates access to all relevant renewable energy information, including technical data, economic data, and renewable resource potential data. ARENA will share experiences on best practices and lessons learned regarding policy frameworks, capacity building projects, available finance mechanisms, and renewable energy-related energy efficiency measures. ARENA involvement in the COP and the SDG summits underscores its critical position in global renewable energy discourse. Honorable Senate Pro Tempore and members, Liberia has established the Rural and Renewable Energy Agency, RREA, and ratification of the RRENA ARENA will benefit Liberia immensely from several capacity building initiatives, as well as enhance our cooperation with strategic partners at various levels. As a consequence of the above, I request your kind consideration in ratifying this instrument. Sincerely, Joseph Numa Boakat Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, the reading of the last two communications from the President, submitting two instruments for ratification.
The distinguished colleagues, you heard the reading of two communications from the President, presenting two instruments for ratification. What is the word and pleasure? Senator Dillon.
Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, having listened to the reading of the communication from the President submitting two instruments for legislative action, I move that those instruments be received and turned over to the committees on judiciary, the committees on energy, and the committee on ways, means, and finance, including foreign affairs. The foreign instrument. When you last year, I think we say the committee.
Can I second to the motion? Before restating the motion, are you ready to vote? All in favor, say yea. Let us send it back to committee.
Thank you.
I don't want to raise it.
Is that copy to us?
We The cabinet.
Business on President's text. Amendment of the Senate rules.
Do we add any timeline to that motion?
For the motion, I mean for this. No, I mean, the motion was that. You mean for the ratification? We don't have time frame.
All right.
For both ratification?
For both ratification.
Thank you, Secretary Assembly.
So that we can take our time.
Amendment of the Senate rules.
Yeah, that are four items. Without voting, the paper waiting.
That's what I said. There were few places we agreed and the project should be elected in case of removal or changes. We need to be clear.
That's why you gotta have a debate. You gotta have a debate to be clear. You're not in charge.
So that every you only in your opinion. We agree that so in case of removal, in case of proceed, we only can assess it.
So there has to be a debate for all the we want to start a debate today.
Yeah.
We'll start a debate today. Any point, or we'll start a debate today. The Secretary of the Senate, you already have the rules before you. The Secretary of the Senate will read the first provision that will build consensus on. Secretary, please read and please take note and we'll debate properly. Yeah, so we'll do it one at a time.
Rule 19. Rule 19.
Yeah, order. Thank you. Thank you, President. Can we debate the rules so President put it out somehow? I call the plenary to order. Since indeed the debate of the rules will take us a very long time, we passed on the confirmation because they appeared on Tuesday, we didn't do it. And now that they have appeared again, we pass on it, then the debate should be the last. That's the order.
So it's not in place.
Thank you. Confirmation first. Please be looking at Rule 19.
Confirmation. Report for confirmation.
Yeah.
Report from standing committee. Report of the Senate Committee on Judicial, Human Rights Claims and Petitions on the confirmation hearing of Councillor Finlay Ward Kanga, Anthony Moniet Martin, and Councillor Lamin Bagwe.
Where Jana you mean?
That's the one they give me.
Yes, Jenna. Get it from there.
But look at what they give me.
No, that old one here, you read so. Read it from here. No, if we did it, we did everybody. Now we get to before everybody. Yes. Yeah, you see here? You see here?
In consideration of the findings and conclusion about the Judicial Committee, hereby recommends to plenary that Councillor Lami Pawet be confirmed as Commissioner in the office of the Ombudsman of the Republic of Liberia. Signed, members of the committee. The first report. Second report from the Senate Committee on Judicial Human Rights Claims and Petitions on the confirmation hearing of Councillor Jared D.K. Galawuro, Assistant Minister for Litigation Designate of the Ministry of Justice. Recommendation. Wherefore, in view of its findings above, the committee recommends that Councillor Jared D.K. Galawuro be confirmed as Assistant Minister for Litigation of the Ministry of Justice. Signed, members of the committee. The report of the Senate Committee on Autonomous Commissions and Agencies on the confirmation hearing of Honorable James Fumoya, Chairman Designate of the Liberian National Commission on Small Arms. Recommendation. The Committee on Autonomous Commission Agencies recommends to the plenary of the Liberian Senate the confirmation of the nominee herein named. Signed, members of the committee. Madam President, pro tempore, the reading of the 3 reports from standing committees.
Distinguished colleagues, we heard the reading of confirmation reports. What is your waiting pleasure? Madam Chair.
I will listen to the confirmation reports from two of our standing committees, recommending the confirmation of the individuals nominated by the President to various positions in government. I move that plenary acts on the report by voting, by taking a vote on the recommendation, on the record.
It has been moved and seconded that plenary act on the report by voting on the record. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Secretary Senate, let's vote on the record. No.
Let's combine all two and just do one vote.
That's how we're going.
Okay, fine. But you didn't say, I want to say.
Vote taken for Councilor Jared D.K. Galawuro and James Fumoya. Most of our time. Senator Sahari Joseph.
Sir Joseph for yes.
Senator Ibrahim Darius DILLON.
I vote yes.
I'm the first man, so
Senator
they
Bishop
go for you to tell me.
Yes.
Sandra Khan. Senator Councilor Augustine S.K.
Yes, good.
Senator Christopher O. Duncan.
Yes.
Liberian County. Senator J. Daniel Brown. Senator James P. Bynum. Rankin County. Senator Simeon William Taylor.
Yes.
Senator Taba N. Fabla.
Yes.
Bon County. Senator Prince Kevin Boyd.
Yes.
Senator Johnny King Quaid. Lima County. Senator Prince Watt Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Nyan D. Twine Jr. Grand Juliet County. Senator Zoe Dyer. Senator Thomas Yaga Jr. Grover County. Senator Councilor Joseph K. Judge. Senator Monty Saros. Morgan County. Senator Edwin Larry Scott Jr. Senator Ellis Whitaker Tyler. Mike Green County. Senator Anthony James Meyer Newport. Senator Nathaniel F. McGill.
Yes.
Ross S. County. Senator Wellington G. Von Smith.
Yes.
Senator Bill T. Twelve.
Yes.
Grand Creek County. Senator Professor Aaron Fetchi. Senator Community Patekwa. Rio J. County. Senator Jonathan Walters Subway.
Yes.
Senator Francis S. Dofu II. Bakuru County. Senator Bodo County. And Senator Amara M. Conan. Pro tempore is to the senators to vote for the 3 in favor, none against, none abstaining. So the vote is unanimous.
Thank you. So the nominees are hereby confirmed. Senator I accordingly. I'm for the pray for the rule.
Based on the rules. Starting with Rule 4. On the calendar and order of business, opening and adjournment of constituency break.
Can we allow the Secretary of Senate to read? Some of those rules are already been completed.
Under Rule 4, opening and adjournment of a constituency break. In accordance with the statute passed by this legislature, first adjournment, the first constituency visit break shall commence not later than the 3rd Friday of March of each year and end the 2nd Friday of May of each year. Second adjournment shall commence not later than the third Friday of July of each year and on the second Friday of October of each year. And the third adjournment not later than the second Friday in December of each year and end on the Friday immediately preceding the second working Monday of January of each year, in order to satisfy Article 32A of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. That's the first one. The third adjournment, Rule 4. Rule 4.
It's in practice already.
Yeah, but we have to endorse
Yeah, that's true.
officially.
Preceding the second working Monday of January of each year, in order to satisfy Article 32A of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, the third adjournment. Then Rule 11.
What was there? What are we amending? So when we read this, unless
You need to read the previous.
Yes.
What is that?
What was there in hand?
what are we amending?
Under Rule 4. Under Rule 4, the previous one. Opening and adjournment of annual session. Section 1. The Liberian Senate shall convene in regular session once a year on the second working Monday in January of each year. Section 2. Except as may be extended, regular session of the Senate shall adjourn on August 31st. Section 3. The Senate shall recess for the Easter break for a period of not more than 2 weeks. Change to Section 1 for first amendment adjournment. Section 2, second adjournment, and Section 3, the third adjournment, in accordance to the laws that was passed by this legislature.
So the first rule says that if our break was 6 months. Now we've agreed to have 3 breaks in the period. So you're going to spread that out to 3 breaks, which is already in practice. Do we have any? Yes, Philip.
Distinguished colleagues, my only concern is that the Constitution prescribes certain provisions that one house cannot close 5 days between. So with our rules, we have to also take into consideration the House of Representatives rules if it's consistent with us. I have no problem if it is, and we can proceed.
So I think there was a law passed on both houses. Yeah, we just want to make sure that it's covered within the rules.
Was that on
It's covered in practice.
Senator, former Senator Pro Tem Chair?
Yeah, but this person getting information too.
I'm from ROA. I think you're all guys.
So, if we have any other intervention, if we don't have any other intervention, you know?
Yeah, thank you. My project distinguished colleagues, we are amending our rules resulting from our retreat in Grand Master County. And I think it is fair to this body for us to be giving background to each of the rules while we went to Grand Master and coming back to this list. Amending this rule is because a law was passed to conform now to the current fiscal calendar year. Before we came to calendar year, fiscal calendar year from January to December, the fiscal year of Liberia ran from July 1 to June 30 the following year. So the legislative agenda was tailored so that it can conform to the fiscal year at that time, so that the legislature can be in session during the budget period and all that. 2, this amendment is also furthering that there is nothing more they call agricultural break as it was amended more than 6, 7, 8 years ago. Because every time we go break, people can be asking why our farm, why our garden going on. We are not doing even big hour for ourselves. That is why sometimes we can't have to even explain simple things to our people, because as we come into a amended provision of our own rule, we will get even clarity as to why we're doing it. That is why I just wanted to make this clear, that the 6 months break that the legislature used to have, we have reduced it to a straight 6 months break. We are now breaking it down in by quarter. Easter break, Independence Day break, and the final break at the end of the year after we shall have done the budget process in keeping with the new fiscal calendar year. I just wanted to lay down.
There's a correction.
The constituency break 3 quarters. Yeah, wait for Easter, for Independence, at the end of the year. Thank you.
So is it mentioned in the rule? Is it mentioned in our rule like constituency break? On the social cemetery road, so are you suggesting that we put in the rule that those 3 breaks are constituency breaks? Alright. Any other? I'm not going to Senator. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Not later than the 2nd December of this year. Yes. The 2nd December. So
The second December. Second week.
Second December.
Excuse me.
So it should carry the second week.
Second Friday. Second Friday.
Second Friday. Please take note of that. The second Friday of December every year. Anybody else? Any other intervention? With no other intervention, can we get a motion to pass on Rule 4? Or should we do all before we get the motion? A motion to pass on Rule 4? To one of the official motion with the Senate.
Yes.
Senator Dillon.
Pro tem distinguished colleagues, having made clarity on the amendment of Rule 4 of the Standing Rules, Chapter 3, Rule 4 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, I move under the caption opening and adjournment of constituency visit break. I move that the rule as amended be passed.
Before we restate the motion, are you ready to vote? Ready. All in favor say yea. Yea. Again. And 4 is not amended. Next rule.
Rule 11. Section 3. The previous one. In the absence of both the President and President pro tempore of the Senate, the order of presiding administration shall be as follows. Chairperson and Executive, Foreign Affairs, Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions, Rules, Order Administration, Ways, Means, Finance and Budget, National Defense, Security, Intelligence and Veteran Affairs, Health and Social Affairs, Gender, Women and Children, Committee on Internal Affairs, Reconciliation, 8 committees. The proposed one, in the absence of both the President and the President pro tempore of the Senate, the precedence of presiding administration shall be as follows, naming the same, but to single out the chairperson, the Committee on Health, committee on the previous one, the Committee on Health and Social Affairs, Gender and Women and Children, split it to allow the Committee on Health to be on the leadership, and the Gender, Women and Children Affairs, Social Affairs goes to Standing Committee. Then added 3 more committees the Committee on Public Works and Rural Development, the Committee on Public Accounts and Audit, the Committee on Education and Public Administration, and all former pro temps and speakers.
I don't see it here.
So it was discussing the consensus of bill on that. Can you just take note of that? Unless we didn't have that.
All former pro temp and speakers of the Liberian legislature.
Just take note of that in the chat.
Of the legislature.
What?
All former president pro tempore and speakers of the Liberian legislature.
So, so it was agreed at the retreat. It was agreed at the retreat that our committees that are already on leadership or not endorsed in our rules should be amended.
Yeah.
And then all former speakers pro tem who are in the Senate are considered are considered ranking member of the legislature.
Yes.
So that they should be added on the leadership of the Liberian Senate.
Provided that they are not chairing committees that are already on leadership.
Yeah, if they are not chairing committee that's already on leadership.
And also, what about addendum?
So we're recognizing that. So that's all we're consensus on. Alright, so we can get the debate going now on the Senator Chief Husband and Senator Taylor.
No, that provision when the protect they are not necessary. That means I resign your position. I mean, in time there, that provision.
Senator Chief Husband, you keep all your points for the debate. Senator Chief Husband.
I'll put the senior senators. I want for us to look at the provision and make some or modification. If, because of misconduct, you serve as a speaker and the House of Representatives expel you from the position, will you, and you manage to get in the Senate, will you serve on leadership?
No. Exactly.
Secondly, suppose you are presiding over the Senate as the pro tem, and because of gross, proving and established misconduct,
And you are removed.
and you are removed, can you serve on leadership?
No.
So, that's not one.
Alright, so Senator Chief Husband is saying that speakers and pro tem who are removed from those positions should not be given the misconduct. How do you determine when you remove, you are removed? Yeah, when you gotta be removed for cause, you gotta back up. If you are removed for cause. So we'll come back and we'll come to state your information from Senator Taylor. Senator Taylor. Yeah.
Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleague, Senator Gibbon Smith. Senator Gibbon Smith, I practically said what I wanted to say. I just want to what you said.
Sergeant, can we have it, you know?
I just want to what that.
The noise is there.
I just wanted to apologize that by saying we should make it clear in our rule that one who served as speaker honorably retired at the end of the term and become senator, and need that courtesy to put them on the leadership of the Senate makes sense.
Speaker, pro tem, and deputy speaker.
I don't know what deputy speaker. I'm making my case.
I'll make my case.
Because if we don't take care, we're not making law for today alone. We should be futuristic in our thinking when making law. There's a possibility that plenty former speaker and deputy speaker will cross over here. One day the entire Senate will be on leadership.
Already that's what it's like. They make it easy. They will not be there at all.
One day the entire Senate will be on leadership. It will go by that.
Yeah.
So that goes some boundaries. If you serve your full term,
When they put that.
but when your time comes, you come. When you serve as speaker, you serve your full term, you retire, especially in keeping with the retirement law that we were trying to face and it became noise. Once you retire and you become senator, that honor to serve on the Senate leadership. But the Senate should not be a place where when the tire will eat and horse and you manage to carry down, we have put your Senate leadership. The same thing we apply to ourselves here. Like Senator Gibbon Smith has already said. One who serve as pro tem and honorably serve up to the end of their tenure, that honor to have their own leadership makes sense. Even as you said, unless you own committee that got leadership. Why you pass that? We making law. We making law not for a particular person, not for now. We want to be futuristic. And so that people, when we in this office, we serve with some dignity and honor so that we can benefit from the dignity and honor in the future. As I made. No speaker because you are speaker and can and then we put you on leadership or deputy. In fact, no, we might not extend it to deputy speaker.
All right, Senator McGill.
Thank you. This was very short. This is the Liberian and my colleagues are making a very excellent point. Very excellent. If this is a Liberian Senate, somebody vote for you in the House of Representatives. Representative voting for you. And I Senator voting for you. My suggestion is, whether or not you were speaker in the House, whether they remove you, they didn't remove you, you should not be on the leadership because you're former speaker. If the second protest can be removed, and that protest cannot be on leadership, therefore somebody coming from the House of Representatives should not be there. The only person that should be allowed a former protest who honorably retired and is not on the leadership should be allowed on the leadership. But whether you are removed honorably, you're not removed honorably, you keep from the House of Senate, you should not be on the leadership. Except you are elected by senators to be on the leadership. That's my point. Are you?
That makes sense too.
Thank you, Senator Boyd.
Thank you. Presiding, distinguished senators, I think
This is not about my guild. This is about me.
I'm quite sure the ideas that went into getting former presiding officers, whether in the House or here, to be on leadership was to help the leadership to discharge or function in a way that the Senate will move smoothly. And I think it's a great idea. So, for us to tie it to a former speaker, a former pro tem, or a former deputy speaker being removed, in my understanding, the court should be established. Because in the House of Representatives, a group of 40 lawmakers can get together and say, look, we're not satisfied with the presiding officer. And we can sit under your gavel. That doesn't mean that that person has been indicted in the code of competent jurisdiction and charged for misconduct. So we have to establish the cause for which that person should be denied for not serving on leadership in the Senate. But I think it's a good idea. It brings, sufficient expertise to the leadership of the Senate. And I think every decision that will be made here, it will be informed by the different experiences of those former deputy speaker, speaker, and pro tem. So I want all of us to establish a cause. But there lies somebody here because you are removed. Many things down there can happen based on political reasons, and they are not established. So I want us to understand that. That's my point.
Well, there.
Thank you, Sarah.
I want to follow Senator Moy. Basically, they didn't do me justice. Yeah, he didn't do me justice because his presentation is almost similar to mine. You see, what we said is political. To become speaker, deputy speaker, pro tem, it's a political process. Which means we have to vote. We vote for you. The Constitution itself says you need 2/3 to remove the speaker, 2/3 to remove the pro tem, 2/3 to remove a senator representative. It's a political process for cause. That cause can be what we establish because the Constitution gave us the right to our rules. So, for me, I see no reason why we are arguing on this point because the issue of leadership is just for the smooth running and operations of the entity. Each speaker that is in this Senate, and I will speak specifically to that, has experience in managing and running the affairs of the political institution. Each former pro tem, each former deputy speaker. There are some of you who are new. And I think, I don't like it, but Senator Snow proposed it. And if we just go ahead with it, I think the leadership will be able to refer to Speaker Tyler, former pro tem Finlay, appointed to you by Comani. Former pro tem Emeritus. And I think our experience has come over the years. Each one of us had Pacific President's executive that we dealt with. And that in itself is an experience that we cannot say to overlook. It helps, and it will help. Speaker Lupe King, Speaker Tyler King, Speaker Snow King. And I think they have experience, and you can see it in the workings of those committees that they are heading. So I plead with my colleague to my left, the distinguished gentleman from Maserado, and to all of us who feel that we have to set criteria. Because if these people were criminals, they wouldn't be sitting here with us today. If they were criminals, they wouldn't be sitting here with us today. So I think we don't need this kind of debate. I think we should go ahead and just let it be. I respectfully submit.
Thank you, Senator Sokwe. And Senator Taylor after. Okay.
Thank you. So, what I'm seeking understanding in this matter, I'm trying to understand what if the leadership, the committee's own leadership, are less than the former speakers and deputy speakers and pro tem. What do we do? Do we increase the committee? Where do we come from with that? Do we now change the rules again? Or do we make them ex officio to these committees? That's one. Two, the very reason why anybody should be placed, given the privilege to serve at a leadership level is because a person has been, hello?
Talk to the president.
Yeah. The very reason why we are considering the fact that you were the speaker before or a deputy speaker or pro tem, and we want to bring you to leadership is because of the respectability that comes with that position. So if you're removed dishonorably, there is no argument that will be made. There's no decision. I just want to make that point clear. Thank you. Thank you.
Senator Taylor, followed by Senator Fani.
Thank you, Pro Tem and colleagues. For me, I come from a background where no one of us there will determine who is a criminal account. We are vetted up there, even if you are former speaker, and then you were removed, and you are vetted by the Liberian people, and you are having the opportunity to be elected as senators, and you come here, I suppose that you go on leadership because of your expertise. It's key. All of us come here and learn from radio. And those who have been in parliament long will have a technical know-how to make the parliament a viable and a reliable one. And because of that alone, whether you are moved illegally, like you said, it is not our business. The fact that you came here as a leader of the Senate, it means you have moral character. So in my mind, the argument should be that those who come here as former leader at that level should be on leadership. I'm going to support that. Should be on leadership. Please. Please. Senator Magiel. Senator Magiel, have the floor. Senator Magiel, you are fine. So I support that all those former leaders that came here with that expertise should be on leadership. Thank you, Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. I was hoping to protect distinguished colleagues, let's establish why people are considered leaders. It's because they serve as leaders. The former speakers, former deputy speakers, former pro tems are people who have risen to the level of leading legislators. And their expertise is the basis on which we are recommending that it be a part of the leadership. As to the issue of removal, that's debatable. I was part of those who removed Honorable Snow. The reason was purely political. He committed no offense. He committed no offense. But there's a political body. There's a political position. But he rose to the position and he served. If you ask those who removed or who won the games on the tower, we say the same thing. We're political. The bottom line is, how do you establish they were removed? Honorable Snow reached the point, and we have to sit and discuss, and he resigned. But Snow, Honorable Tyler reached the point that he couldn't keep his number. He himself resigned. How do you establish here they were removed?
So resignation is different from removal too.
So the bottom line is, you're not going to have a situation where we'll be arguing because the rule will say those who were removed, other come and say, oh, these were removed, the other man said, no, I resign. We don't want to reach to that point. And so, in my opinion, once it's clear that they have served in a position of leadership, the expertise matters. The issue of why if they get more, and meanwhile, more expertise around the table. Those people are more important to leadership than those who have
more leadership position. Is that it? So we just create more leadership position.
The people on the leadership, those who bring 5 more than and so, why if others come and say, people were indicted, and for that reason they are placed on sanction, they shouldn't be on the leadership. Don't we support that? Don't we support that? No. So in my opinion, no. I listen to your argument. The first argument was people whose credibility was challenged, for which they were removed. All their friends asked them, the police asked them to leave. That credibility issue, I don't believe it. And so then why I say different from those. So in my opinion, distinguished colleagues, I really think as we discuss this aspect of the rule that has to do with leadership, those who rose to the positions of leadership in the legislature, whether you served in the House of Representatives or you served on the Senate side, your expertise is required on the basis of the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Senator Brown. Senator Tuan.
What a committee leadership? 10 years.
Esteemed colleagues, we are in a democracy. To take leadership is not about what you achieved before. You should be voted for. I don't support former speakers, former deputy speakers, or former pro-tem going to leadership. We have a way of becoming leader in the Senate. To be a leader, we got several committees, leadership committees. You can go on one of them and you be elected, rather than us putting the leadership because you were leader before. If a pro-tem wants to do better for them, you can make them advisors. You can appoint them as advisors and head officials. And they will be advising you, they will be calling a leadership meeting, you can include them in the meeting. But they cannot come because you want to elevate them because they were speaker before the you should be voted for as democracy. And only democracy. All you that on leadership today. All you that on leadership today. You were democratically elected to be leadership. Everybody on leadership today, they are on leadership because they were democratically elected. They're not because you said before. But some were leader before. You know, we control people before we have expertise. You know, our teacher before. Our managing director, former finance minister. We want to experience leadership. So, I want us to say those who will be appointed by the process as advisors. The big council advisors. That when situation arises, they will be able to advise you and guide the process as of it.
No committee for advisors.
Senator talking.
When you create a Thank you. It is based on my good friend, not Senator McGill. I can't call him not yet. And that is why I'm taking a stand. I personally believe that the national legislature, though divided into two separate branches, but inseparable by its leader, who is the Speaker of the House. That's the Constitution. And if you happen to serve such an important position as head of the national legislature, I don't see why you can't serve on the leadership committee of the House. Senator McGill indicated that what they do down there is what is done there. And I just brought this, I'm a brother, but that ideological aspect today, we're not going to see why. Yeah, because to become head of the national legislature that comprised of both the Senate and the representatives, I think you deserve that to bring experience to the table. So I don't want him to distinguish, because we have one leader, and that is the Speaker of the House. So that's all.
So are you saying that the Speaker is the head of the legislature?
What are you saying?
Our Speaker is not the head of the legislature.
It's not arguable. As long as
but the Speaker is a 10-minute comment.
Madam Presiding, before I take my seat, I'd like to bring to the so, Madam Pro Tem, as we
you're found 2 times.
Very good.
You're found 2 times.
As I conclude, before taking my seat, I'd like to also bring to the acknowledgement of my brother that when we are looking at the national leadership of our country, just as a reminder, the president comes first, and then followed by the vice president. And after the vice president, it is the speaker of the House. So with that being said, there is no argument. So thank you, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, just as Senator Dillon gave the background on the amendment for our break, and that's the same reason I'd like to give the background, because if we don't give the background, we don't understand where how we came up with the decision. In the 54, after the midterm election, when we arrived at the Senate, we got elected. I came as senator from my league. Senator Boykin as senator for Bond County, former deputy speaker, I as former speaker. Senator Snow came as former speaker for Bond County. And then in constituting the leadership, the pro tem emeritus, pro tem chair, in consultation with the leadership and members of the Senate, felt that the decision was made that we should elevate the committees on public works, public accounts and audit, and education to accommodate those of us who came in as former leaders. So these committees were not placed on leadership because of any other merit, because of what we brought to the legislature.
Because we were leading the committees.
We came in as leaders. It's because of the wisdom of the leadership of the Senate to include us on leadership. That's how these committees were elevated. And you cannot be climbing on a ladder and be kicking the ladder at the same time. You cannot be benefiting from something and acting against it. Education was placed on leadership because the Moy and Deputy Speaker had come to the Senate. Yeah, true.
So we should move it?
Educated, I'm not giving my man.
Not we should move it.
Remove it.
No, it's true.
That's why they want to be an individual. I'm committing institution. As a project. Committing institution, not me. Because of them.
You're very nice. Some of the benefits.
Yes, so, Madam Pro Tem, Madam Pro Tem. So that's the background. That's the background. No, that's the background. The president America is here. You can attest to it. That's the background. No other background. Because that's why at the retreat. That's why at the retreat. We indicated it was very, in fact, it was Sanders who raised it, that former leaders of this nature should be on leadership so that the Senate cannot from time to time be elevated committees to leadership only because some former leaders, certain former leaders have come to the Senate. That's the background. There was no other reason. And these committees are benefiting from it right now. Unless we want to revise and remove the 3 committees, then we'll close the case. So, but I need your potential. I mean, when we are here.
The argument the committees are already there. The argument now is whether to go.
Look, I'm getting the background. I'm getting the background. Yeah.
Making a point.
Because I want the background. It's the same thing because the Senate, the same reasoning. It's the same reasoning that the Senate made a decision on the Elevated Committee. It is that same reasoning for which they are saying we want these leaders to be on the election so that we cannot be elevated committees only because some leaders are in the Senate. Yeah, I just want to make that clarification so that the decision is well informed.
All right. Senator Johnson.
The lawyer is speaking up to fire minority. Wisdom.
You have it. Distinguished colleagues, this House of Senate is a House of Elders. We are here always to uphold the law. The law is what we do. The talk on the floor regarding former Speaker, Deputy should not be because they were removed. Removal from office without due process should be considered by this House of Elders as non-involved. Mr. Tyler, Senator Tyler was not given due process. I know the whole story. Senator Snow was not given due process. There was a problem between these classical leaders and the executive. And so there was mobilization done in the lower house to remove them because the executive felt that they were not in line with what they wanted to carry out. So I think the House of Senate did the right thing to put them on leadership. And we are benefiting from them. How do you benefit from people that still not condemn them? How? These people are promoting the Senate. You hear on the floor the way they contribute to debates. Some will learn from it. I've been here too long, but they have their own expertise. So I learned a lot from them. So I think we should consider them to be on leadership, and not based on what the lower house did to them. What the lower house did, Madam Protest, distinguished colleagues, it was illegal. It was unconstitutional. You accuse someone, give them due process. If you want to say because they were removed, they shouldn't hold leadership position here, then we'll come back to due process. Why are the documents you base it on? They say they shouldn't be. There was no document, there was no investigation, nothing. Money cross hand. Money cross hand, the executive said, no, I don't want Snow. I don't want Ellis Tyler. And they removed them. They couldn't fight the executive, so they resigned, they left. So in conclusion, distinguished colleagues, let us maintain our brothers, distinguished senators, let me retain them on the leadership committee. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Senator Batikwa.
After two.
And you former speaker, you will find here one more time. You know.
Thank you for giving us.
Former speaker,
Madam Presiding, the issue about can really be clearly laid out by those of us that from that side. We cannot go by what happened there to judge the credibility of people here. I'm saying in Nigeria, when people are retired or voted out of office as president, still that status of national leadership, they call them council of states. It's not because you went to election and you were voted out, so the country just threw you out. There is legislative leadership we're talking about. We're talking about legislative leadership where especially the speaker who serves as the third in command of our government comes here. Then we belittle them. Then we say no. So to me, our colleagues who have served as speakers should be accorded that deference.
You qualify.
Giving that recognition to serve on the leadership of the Liberian Senate. That is why we are called adults. The experience they acquire more than to the extent that they can make more contribution to our leadership as Senate of this country. So that thing, to me, I will appeal to the consciousness of the Senate here that we need to, having given me the opportunity. So Madam Presiding, I will appeal to the members of the Senate that we please accord our police who serve as speakers, deputy speakers. Why will you protest that serve as leaders of the legislature? They should be given that recognition. They should be given that courtesy to serve on the leadership of the Senate, so that the experience that they acquired over the years can contribute to our work in this kingdom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Johnny Quay. Followed by Senator Masla.
Thank you, Protest and distinguished. Protest, the debate on the floor today is quite a memorable one, and I can simply say to you that thank the Secretary of Senate for giving us this document at that other time, but we still have to make our way important. Protest, I agree with Senator Nukwe that people that come with former speaker Nukwe that we should accord respect to those who came with leadership from the lower house and even people that people that left from leadership from the upper house. But I can say to you, I would want to leave this open because what I do see is that we should give the past immediate an opportunity to serve on leadership. It was just leave it open. People that will serve and go back and retire and will be there for maybe two, three terms to come back. Are we going to give them the same position as it is? Yeah. If so, let it be no. Let it be stated into the document. But I believe that opportunity should be given to pass immediate and not just pass over. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Senator Masla.
Thank you, Madam Protest, distinguished
All our
colleagues.
leaders here. And let me say thank you to the 54 that saw the wisdom in bringing former leaders who are experienced in legislative proceedings to leadership.
My only question is the way we have experienced the committee chairpersonship within the Senate. The leadership committees are those that people opt and vie for. And there are standing committees that people are appointed. Now we have 3 standing committees already elevated as the result of 3 leaders that came to the Senate. There will be more leaders coming to the Senate. Today we have about 6 of our colleagues who have served as leaders in both houses. Are we going to have a cutoff point to establish a certain number of committees that should be considered leadership committee? And if we are doing that, are we going to allot a certain portion to those who come with this leadership experience? Otherwise, you'll find everybody vying for those same. And if leaders go for a standing committee and they elevated to leadership, I think one of my colleagues mentioned that sooner or later more than half or maybe 75% of the Senate will be on the leadership committee. So we need to have a quorum and have an agreement as to how many will be leadership committee and at what point we'll call it a cutoff. That's my concern. Thank you.
So the concern is whether we should do additional committees to leadership, or how do we include the former leaders, ex officio, whatever way.
Yes. So that when we are coming for election, we know exactly who vie for positions and whatever.
Because on leadership, you have to win the election to be in leadership. Those are elected positions.
That's it.
Senator Chair.
One thing here, that dispensation,
President, sorry. I think the debate is good. But I want to differ with my colleagues who are making a case to introduce what I refer to as an affirmative action. And I want to reject, despise, and repudiate that. Look, we have to be serious. The argument here is that these people are coming with certain kinds of expertise because they have been leaders before. So they're coming with leadership experience. But have we forgotten that we have committees here that are on leadership? Can they use their expertise on those committees so that they become part of leadership as heads of the committee? Why not? Instead of just saying a blanket thing, a affirmative action, once you are former speaker, former deputy speaker, you come here, automatically you become a member of leadership. I don't think that's the way to go. Because like my colleague said, what will be the cutoff point? Where does it stop? Where does that ball stop? Everybody come there want to be. If you want to be on leadership, vie for a leadership position. We have many leadership positions here. That's where we actually need the expertise. That boy just come and say, I'm on leadership. You're on leadership because you are playing a role on a committee that is on leadership. You are providing your expertise on that committee. And you are advising the rest of the leaders on the work you are doing in your committee. We don't have people here just saying, I say, I'm a leader and doing nothing. No. They must vie for leadership position. And that no position must bring them to leadership. That's how it should be. We should not give anybody any John Silver platter because of whatever their former position. No, I don't agree with that. They must come here that anybody else vie for the position, be elected because those are elected positions. If we believe that they are good enough, they have the expertise that we need, let's put them on those committees so that they provide those expertise to the committee to be on leadership. Thank you.
We agree with you.
It should not be automatic. No, of course not. We don't practice that here.
Madam President, distinguished colleagues, I said no because I never understood about removal or resignation. I understood that you willingly leave, you resign, but removal is for a cause. So, to the point, the whole leadership thing we're talking about, for me, I'm not understanding it because whenever the leaders go to meeting, they can bring result to us.
So, Project, argument is good, but some of the problems today we are facing, for example, even at the airport, talking about lounge, using the lounge, is because we don't have a transitional plan in place. Some of the reasons why we passed law that former speaker, former president, former chief justice, former vice president, you want to leave office, you should have certain immunity, is what we are talking about here. In every legislature that I know of, for example, freshman lawmakers don't go on leadership. Check, go and report it. Your first time in the parliament, in Congress, then you say, I chair or executive, or I chair on the leadership. No! That will have ranking members.
Right. That's true. Right.
Or foreign affairs. That will have ranking members.
True.
But because we are not practicing that here, you now need to dignify the past leader. Unfortunately, maybe it's important for the public to know too that there is no separate salary for leadership. Very people think that people work on leadership for salary, no. They see salary, except for the protest. So, and that Senator Johnson Resident said, this is a political theater. And Senator Timothy Resident said it. If you are convicted, you will be here. Or you go to court, they put you in jail, you will not be elected here. But if you are pro tem today, and you no longer enjoy the majority here, 20 or others decide they wouldn't want you to be pro tem. And you decide I will resign because I don't enjoy the confidence of my colleagues. You come here, should we now say because you resign, we should now call you as an ordinary member here? No, you have served us. And people keep saying, what will be the cutoff point? Why more people come here? We are forgetting that this law is only for the 55th legislature. It's not for the 56th. So if former speaker and deputy speaker come in the 56th legislature, and you find out that the leadership that new rule you have, you not have a rule. This rule is only for 6 years. Police. Now 5 years. And now it's 5 years, 5 or 6 months. It's not beyond this legislature. And before I close on this matter, that's why I want to commend Protein Emeritus, Senator Chair. Because we did not have this in place, when we came to the legislature, he felt that these people should be dignified, they come on the leadership. That's where they get education, public accounts, public work, on the leadership. So instead of you doing that now to say, okay, well, you former speaker, you want committee, in that way you retain public cooperation, modernization, commerce, you know, all should come on leadership. So one time again, distinguished colleagues, I just want to lay this point that this rule is only for the 55th legislature. It's for us. 2030, when another legislature comes, they will decide now that, okay, we want this poor leadership, we want our leadership. They will change their own rules. So that argument that one day more people will come, then the leadership will be overburdened, and not true. They rule here. It got expiration date. Thank you. So I beg you, I think it's only right. It's only right to give a man his flower. Tomorrow, DARIUS will return and say, former speaker, former protest will really be dignified. So, colleagues, I want to just close by saying to you, it's not for any enumeration, it's not for anything. It's just for us to share the little we have experienced, to share with you on the leadership. That's it. Thank you. Whatever we see, if you want sunshine, you see, chair leadership.
So I'll be taking up the background by and send us know on how we elevated public accounts and education leadership activities. That is correct. We wanted to dignify our former leaders, but the list is getting longer, as people have said. And Senator Snow is correct, except that when 56 comes in, most likely there will be election. What 56 will meet, the list, most likely that one will go back. Right. Most likely. Most likely we start. So I would suggest, that's my opinion, I can make it, how to handle this, that we should, before I say this, let me say that I'm already on leadership, so I'm not talking for myself. I'm talking about the picture. No, don't protect your term. I will not protect my term. We should give leadership position always to the immediate past, put them as the way said, they are on leadership. That the immediate past put them.
Not all the former.
Not all the former. All the former, we encourage them take positions for election. And those that don't get elected, excuse me, and those that don't get elected, to get an advanced position to leadership. That's mine.
So immediate pass. Okay, so another second issue is, so when you are elevating the formers, are you also elevating?
That one will be doing now.
Only me in that case.
No, I'm not.
So are we putting the leadership, are we putting a particular, are we going to put particular committee on leadership because those are committees?
Now one person will be.
So if that one person is coming on a committee that is not on leadership, if we elevate that person needs to come back to plenary to get voted for. So that we are not leadership position, our position that we vote for.
Wait.
Tem, Madam Pro Tem, I'm not being protected on the floor. Madam Pro Tem and distinguished senators. Senator Snow. Madam Pro Tem, distinguished senators, the issue of having former leaders of the House of Representatives on leadership here is not remote from a sound argument. However, it must be noted that elevating committees that these leaders are placed on will only polarize the leadership. My suggestion, number one, would be if you want to put a former speaker on the leadership, there are committees that they serve on. If it is not on leadership, it should not be elevated. Senator Chair, former pro tem, is on public works. He's the immediate past pro tem of this chamber. He can be on the leadership. Okay, let's assume that he wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Let's assume that it wasn't. He can still be on the leadership and still serve as chairman on public works without public works being on leadership.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. But elevating committees as a result of putting former leaders from the House of Representatives on leadership is not the right place. I'm coming. So, this is my time, please. Madam Pro Tem, so I would suggest, that is my suggestion for progress, number one. No, I'm still on the floor. But having made that first point, I want to refer the senators to Article 38 that gave rise to the creation of our rules. And it states that the two houses shall make their own rules. So I want clarity from the legal minds. If making our rules and mentioning the House of Representatives would not be bringing them into our rules. Because if we made a decision here today, for example, not, we are making a positive decision to affect former speaker and former deputy speaker, fine. And we're putting it in our rules when the rules are supposed to be separate. But if it were in the reverse, I don't think it will come down well. So I want the legal minds to please clarify that point, where Article 38 states that we should have separate rules, mentioning the House of Representatives in our rules, whatever will not be an overlap.
There's no conflict. No conflict.
You got to come here first.
There's no conflict. No conflict.
All right, so I think we're clear on the debate. There's no more. No one. We can get a motion now on this. A motion. Senator Chair, a motion on, is that rule 19?
Rule 4.
That rule 11.
Look, there are two propositions.
What are the two propositions?
We need a separate. Yeah, we need a separate. Yeah, right.
One, we got one.
We need a separate.
That is to include former speakers and former pro tem on leadership.
Yes.
That's what we can discuss.
Yeah.
We need leadership committee. What are you talking about? The leadership committee?
The information is all pro tem, not because the information is there was a
You plan?
Order of taking a motion presiding. Committee that will preside, correct? Committee that will preside. In the absence of the speaker, we need to vote on that first, then we'll deal with the issue of. But there was no opposition. No. We voted on everything.
Yeah, all right. So the committee that will preside in the absence of the third term were already in order. The only thing we did was to add the additional committees that we never had in the rules before when we were practicing. Right? So we can vote on that, we can get a motion to vote on that, because there is no opposition to that. So can we get a motion on that, and then we can come to the issue. We want a formal motion.
So the market is standing.
Yeah, Senator Martin made that motion.
Okay, I'll move consistent with the reading of the amendment in terms of committee that will preside in the order of precedence. If I can receive a second, that the recommendation being endorsed as it was read.
Already?
It has been moved and seconded that the recommendation in order of presiding be endorsed. Are you ready to vote?
Already.
Senator Dillon?
Senator Magin left out to somebody present. Committee that presiding. Chairperson of the committee.
Okay, the chairperson of the
Thank you very much.
The chairperson of the committee.
Okay, accepted by the movement. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? That rule is endorsed. Amended. Senator Chair?
I move that
In affirmative.
rule, under rule 11, section 3, as listed from A to K, B on leadership to include L, committee chaired by the immediate past president pro tempore to be elevated. That's all. Then there should be a separate section on members ex officials on leadership, and that should include all former president pro tempore, all former speakers, deputy speakers.
Second.
As official?
As
Alright, so that the first part of that motion was already voted for, that those additional committees were in that motion by Senator McHale. So this motion is saying that all of our former speakers and president pro tempore and deputy will be on leadership or as ex officio. That means the committees that they serve on will not be elevated on the leadership level. With that motion, that wasn't clear. So it's the same as member for your committee will not be elevated if you are already not on that is the motion. Are you ready to vote? Already, that's fine.
I will be ready to vote if the movement also put in that category. Because in his motion he said the committee of the immediate former president should be elevated. Right. I will be ready to vote if you draft that to say he can serve on the leadership of the committee not elevated.
They said that.
No.
No, he said
I listened to the motion. If he says the committee will be on.
It has to be elevated because it is called leadership committee.
What? But the immediate past is already on the committee. But the committee that you serve on does not have to be elevated. Correct.
You want to go over that motion?
Except whether that the president or the committee. That's the issue, right?
Yes. The president.
No, not going to accept.
Every committee that goes on leadership has to come to election. Every committee that goes on leadership has to come to election. Yeah. The rule also says that a leadership committee are elected committee. That's what the rule says. So we're not, that's not what the discussion is about. So if we are bringing on leadership, former speakers, former pro tem, former deputy speakers, you're bringing them in without the committees that they serve. So they're coming in as members, but they are still served on a different committee. Is that what the motion is? Alright, so if you're ex-official, you're not coming in there with your committee. You're not coming in there with a committee. You're only coming to advise, coming with your expertise, but you're not going to vote. Alright, so I think the motion is clear. Are you ready to vote? What is that?
The motion by Senator Chair says that the immediate past pro tem committee will be under the head.
No, it's not part of that motion. No.
All the parliament members.
Everybody will be ex-official.
Alright. Are ready now?
Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues.
Yeah. You need permission to move the station. Yeah. That's what is rapid.
We need a vote, don't vote.
Program distinguished colleagues, to the movement. I find it disturbing because this violates the Constitution. The Constitution says we must elect our leadership. So
that's why it's ex-official.
But ex-official cannot be on leadership because they are not being elected. So if the movement can say that they will be appointed by the leadership, the Constitution provision is what I'm referring to.
The Constitution wants you to elect senators to leadership.
Correct.
Right.
Your committee must be elected to leadership. Right. As ex-official on leadership, that committee will not be elevated because it did not come for election.
That's an honorary title.
So, ex-official, yes, it's an honorary title.
He said the immediate past honorary. The immediate past.
You already moved that. Alright, we'll go on our readiness. I'm ready to vote. Go on our readiness. I'm ready to vote. All in favor say yeah. Against?
Yeah.
So the rule 11, section 3, so is amended. The next provision.
Rules 19.
Motion for reconsideration.
What about we
19. Suspension and removal of the President pro tempore. Section 3. Rule 19, Section 3.
Rule 19, Section 3.
That's what the amendment is. The previous one. In case of removal of the President pro tempore, the Liberian Senate shall elect a successor in keeping with the following procedures. A. The Secretary of the Senate shall announce the vacancy of the position of President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate. B. Within a period of 30 calendar days, an election shall be held in plenary to fill the vacancy of President pro tempore. C. All interested senators shall declare their intention in writing to the plenary through the Secretary of the Senate not later than 20 calendar days from the date of the announcement of the vacancy, and the Secretary of the Senate shall circulate all declarations received to all members of the Senate not later than 5 calendar days prior to the date of the election. D. The plenary at which the election shall be held shall have only one item on its agenda, which shall be the election of the President pro tempore of the Senate. E. On the day of the election, the President of the Senate shall preside, or in the stead, the Secretary of the Senate. F. Election shall be conducted consistent with guidelines approved at the plenary prior to the date of said elections. The proposed amendment. Rule 19, Section 3. Resignation, removal, and death. In case of resignation, removal, or death of a President pro tempore, the Senate shall elect a successor in keeping with the following procedure. A. The Secretary of the Senate shall, within 2 sittings, announce the vacancy of the position of the President pro tempore. B. Within a period of 2 sittings, an election shall be held in plenary to fill the vacancy created thereof. C. Such election shall be presided over by the Secretary of the Senate. D. All interested senators shall declare their intention in writing to the plenary through the Secretary of the Senate within 5 calendar days from the date of the announcement of the vacancy, and the Secretary of the Senate shall circulate all declarations received to all members of the Senate within 48 hours prior to the date of the election. E. The plenary at which the election shall be held shall have only one item on its agenda, which shall be the election of the President pro tempore of the Senate. And F. The election shall be conducted consistent with guidelines approved by the plenary prior to the date of said elections.
So Rule 19, Section 3 is being read. I'm going to begin. Cyber Chair.
The amendment offered by us be consistent with the Constitution of Liberia. The Constitution says the President pro tempore shall be elected once every 6 years. Yeah. Not twice though. Once every 6 years. So when the President pro tempore resigns, or he or she is removed, we go back to Rule 11, order of succession. In that case, the chair of the committee of executive takes over. There's no debate on that. Constitution is very clear. We have been doing the past, we have been doing the wrong way. Once, not twice. Constitution is very clear. Please go to the culture of the Constitution. Please go to the Constitution. Once, not twice. Once every 6 years.
Someone read the Constitution. Article 47. Senator Yakwan.
No. Article 47 of the Constitution. The Senate shall elect once every 6 years a President pro tempore who shall preside in the absence of the President of the Senate. and such other officers as shall ensure the proper functioning of the Senate. The President pro tempore and other officers so elected may be removed from office for cause resolution of a two-third majority of the members of the Senate.
Yes.
They can be removed.
They can be replaced.
The Constitution is clear on one. So the Constitution is clear on election by the Senate Chair, the Chair wants to share what your comment on it.
But it's clear, it's at once. There was no Supreme Court interpretation. It's once every says yes. It doesn't mean that if the unlikely situation of the protest being removed, of course, you give one election. That'll be a special election. That'll be a special election. It's once every says yes.
The Constitution has been referenced by the protest heritage have no provision for succession clause. That's how the protest dies the Constitution of Liberia allow us to elect the president and vice president on one ticket and make provision for succession. When the president dies, the vice president take over. It's in the Constitution. That's succession. And when two of them die, they elect another day. Two of them die. Yes, thank you. Yes. What is your point? In our case,
keep your point for
in our case, project, there is no succession clause in the Constitution for the provision of speaker. Pro-temp in this case. So the argument that election once a year, once every 6 years, correct. But in the case of resignation or death or removal, there should be election.
Yes, of course.
There should be election.
No, that's not argument. That's not argument.
You cannot say there will be no election. No. In that law, Jim will move tomorrow morning because listen. Listen. Everybody will be saying and say, I'm a parent.
Can I clarify? Let me clarify.
This Article 47, I think, is clear. It's clear. The first thing, the intent of the law, I'm not a lawyer, but the intent of the law is to say to us, the pro tem and the officers of the Senate must be elected. Correct. That's first. Let me finish the talk. Secondly, it says once every 6 years. In the same article provides for removal within the 6 years. So when you're removed within the 6 years, what happens to you? What happens to the Senate? No, listen. The freedom of the Constitution, when I stood they were clear. It's clear that you must elect the pro tem, period. Nobody can become pro tem without being elected. There's no discussion about that. It doesn't matter. No, that's why I say I'm not a lawyer. The Supreme Court will interpret the law. Yeah. So that's not.
So why is silent? We make provision for election. So why is silent? We make provision for election.
So I want to go to the revised portion of 19C. When we are electing the pro tem, we are in section, and we have a presiding officer. Article 51 is clear on that matter. Why should the Secretary of the Senate preside over the election of the pro tem? No, the Secretary of the Senate doesn't preside over the Senate when they are sitting. The Secretary of the Senate presides on the first day when we are not sitting, but not when we are sitting. And so I believe that that provision should carry the President of the Senate, not the Secretary of the Senate. We are sitting. Secretary of the Senate can never preside over the Senate. Never. I don't care what we are sitting. 10 people in here. So why now, when it comes for election of a pro tem in the event of the absence or the opening of the pro tem position, should he preside over? Because there's no Senate. We have a presiding officer. The President of the Senate is the presiding officer. This provision, let me say this. Provision 19 says removal, resignation, or death. In that event, we are sitting. We already seated. So we already seated, we have a presiding officer. So that presiding officer must preside. Over that particular day. And that's where I'm coming from.
Who presides over the pro tem election?
The only reason why the Secretary presides over the election because we're not seated. That's why he does it on the first day. No. Yes. We have
So all senators are inducted into office for the pro tem election, right? All senators are inducted into office before the pro tem election.
By that time, there's no presiding.
So by that time, there's no presiding.
So the provision of our movement, the provision of our movement calls for the Secretary of the Senate to continue until after the election of the presiding of the pro tem. Then now he must be elected by us. So I'm saying, why would we sitting? We senators here, and then the Secretary of the Senate preside. He's not presiding over me. So I think we need to make sure that our rules
Yeah, thank you.
It's
in that case, what if the presiding over the Senate is not around? It's not really.
You got to make yourself.
Who not the Secretary?
That's why the
No, we just go Secretary of Senate.
The whole who says the president of the Senate.
They are all the Secretary of Senate. Information.
One new there?
To preside over the Senate. He got 3 votes.
Brother and colleagues, the Constitution says once every 6 years. And that's a tenure. That's a tenure. In case of death or resignation or removal, you have a tenure position, and the person that will be elected, whether by election year, should serve the remaining term. That's what I want to be included into that.
Correct.
Because we all could say today or tomorrow, Protein, we want you. For no reason. And maybe we vote for James, Senator Barney. But Senator Barney will not go beyond the 6 years.
Yes, I agree.
So let it be clear that...
Do we have a succession?
No,
do we have a provision in our rule for succession?
No. I'm not talking about James.
If we have anything for succession in our
I know what I'm talking about.
Can we listen to the Senate and Senate? Do we have anything in our rule for succession? What do we have? So that is good to hear. Yeah. So rule 11?
In the absence.
In
the absence of both the president and the president pro tempore of the Senate, the precedence of presiding and administration.
Absence. Temporary. Presiding. Session when man absent.
So, the rules talking about being absent. The rules talking about being absent. We are not saying, God forbid, when the protein dies or the protein is removed. When the protein is removed, it must be a cause, and so the entire Senate has the right to elect a protein. But that protein that person should end that tenure.
Even if they are elected for more than a term,
yeah,
right there.
That's why I want to be so because you have to be elected once, ever since and you should put an end that tenure. That time, period. Thank you.
You end the session. That's it here now.
That's all right.
Thank you, Prophet. I think for the study of the Constitution itself, to make it more clear, to make my point, I will read it again, because it was read first. The Senate shall elect once every 6 years a president pro tempore who shall preside in the absence of the president of the Senate, and such other officers as shall ensure the proper functioning of the Senate. The president pro tempore and other officers so elected may be removed. People who go to, who know the law, will tell you that no court will take a word in the Constitution lightly. Every word in the Constitution stands on its own with consequential meaning. That is why in the Constitution, when it says may and shall, there are two consequential differences.
Is it good?
It was not. And I forgot speaker who leadership better than one people. Lawyers will tell you that the Supreme Court of America and Liberia, and it is established in interpretation of the law, especially Constitution. It says, what the law does not grant, it will hold. It did not give succession, so it will hold. When you're talking this Constitution is deliberate when it says pro tem must be elected once every 6 years. The remover, that choice may. Any compare to remove pro tem? The same way Article 49, it is compelling us to remove speaker from that side. It says may. That choice is not amended to remove the pro tem. When you elect the pro tem is there for 6 years. This Constitution did not need to, in black and white, say that succession clause here in the very 42nd. Succession clause is here without writing it. Let me read it. The president pro tem, okay, the Senate shall elect once every 6 years a president pro tem who shall preside in the absence of the president of the Senate. And that election once every 6 years. And such other officers who shall ensure the proper functioning of the Senate. So when you elect these officers to ensure the proper functioning of the Senate, that's succession. That's succession. That's succession because. So why would you preach the chief justice? Because you would have discussed from the discussion because the Constitution is expressed written. How a chief justice can be named. It is expressed written. You see, you go for interpretation when there's ambiguity in the law. In the plain text of the law. Why do you see it wrong? You go for interpretation when there's ambiguity in the plain text of the law. When the law is plain, when the text of the law is plain, you don't need interpretation. You just go for what it says. So, the Constitution says, the Constitution says we should elect a pro tem once every 6 years. If we don't want pro tem if we don't want to be changing pro tem every 6 years, let somebody who will continue with it. And even in the presidency, even though the argument would be that they will, because the president and vice president are elected on the same ticket, look at that clause where even when the vacancy within the presidency and the vice presidency at the same time. There's a succession there.
No, it's not permanent. No, it's not
Thank you.
According to this, if you have your opinion, please keep it one.
It said when the president and the vice president, their vacancy there, the speaker will hold on
for 90 days.
For 90 days.
And then you have election.
Please give me a chance.
Okay, sir.
You know why? Because I say you want elect president once every 6 years. The word Was is not emphasized and also in the Constitution.
Next president, one every 6 years. The Constitution is clear. I'm going to say what? Left for 6 years. Is that what? They say 6 years. Is that what? It's a tenure. The project doesn't have tenure. So they are two different categories. No. The president is restricted to 2 terms. The president is restricted to 2
you will not be recognized for speaking. So we'll follow the flow. If you interrupt any speaker, you will not be recognized. All right.
I will put the information. Take it 40 minutes now.
Yeah, well, 1 hour and 10 minutes, and y'all keep attacking.
But who they are?
When you talk that flow, I'll let you flow.
Information.
Every time I thought you dropped my
We will not take information and orders in this debate. Everybody will wait for their time to speak. If you stop there, I will cancel your information.
The Constitution says we elect pro tem once every 6 years. The word once is not loosely used. It's not inadvertently put in the Constitution. It was deliberate. Just because we have had elections or 2-3 elections of pro tem under Article 47 or 49 for Speaker within 6 years in the past does not make it right. Bad precedent is not precedent. So, what we don't want a pro tem here, we'll go by order of succession. We got to be careful so that we can be having 2-3 elections for pro tem. All the time I'm here, we review the rule of remover. Yes, so now it's hard with the territory. But what I'm saying, my argument is, what ever says there we elect them? 2006 years is a violation of this Constitution unless you remove the word once. Because we have had 2-3 elections for pro tem within 6 years, which was a violation, is not the precedent to bring forward. That's all.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Distinguished colleagues, I have the floor, please. You know, we are in a political house, and so we debate issues according to the way we want to convince other people to go. The Constitution that we have all read, this issue was on the floor during the retreat.
No, but you can't be sitting and addressing us.
No, the pro tem knows that I have special dispensation because I have some issues.
Which I also have. And you can stand up.
The issue came on the floor during the retreat. And some of us had a position, I think I still maintain that position. The Constitution. The Constitution is clear as to once every 6 years a pro tem will be elected. The Constitution also did not provide any succession. Even we look at our own practices, we just discussed the issue of past leaders ascending to leadership. It was clearly stated, our rule clearly states, that in order to ascend to leadership committee, you must be elected. In order to come to the House of Senate, you must be elected. A position as significant as the pro tem. The Constitution says you must be elected. So this is really clear. There is a vast difference between absence and removal. You cannot equate absent. Right now the pro tem is absent. So executive is resigning, and that is temporary. It can be something permanent. It can be something permanent. Why did the Constitution mention 6 years? It goes along with the presidential tenure.
Yes, that's it.
After such tenure, another session is here. The 54th legislature, the 55th Senate is different from the 56th. And we must have election every time for our leaders. Yes. We can't have a succession. No one senator should relax because you got executive position that you can ascend to a pro-tem position through succession. No. That would be the weakest law or the weakest rule that we will produce here as leaders. Let us go to election. The thing about it, the Senate leadership election is one of the shortest and easiest. We have only 30 senators. The last time we had election here, it was not even for more than 10 minutes. Why are we shying away from election? And we came here through election. The Constitution is very clear. The pro tem must be elected and our rule must say so. Unless we have intention to discriminate or give other people undue preference. But let the rule carry that if a pro tem is removed, which room to experience this time, or if the pro tem resigns, we go to election to fill that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm not going to talk long. I mean, the distinguished senator from Cape Mon I just said it all. I want us to be clear here. We are not lawyers, but this matter is just a simple logic. The framework of the Constitution knew very well that there will be a senior senator in every county and there will be a junior senator. A senator that will have a 9-year tenure and a senator that will have a 6-year tenure. Yes. So every senator now will have 9 years. Yes, not together. So the framework of the Constitution felt that if a senator that has a 9-year tenure will be elected as a pro tem, you are elected for 6 years. Once. So if you resign or if you are removed, that once refers to your successor. Anybody coming there, that once applies to them. That's the logic. That's it.
Madam President, I've been listening to all of the debates on the floor, especially the excellent one espoused by Chairman Bowie. And whereas Article 47 stipulates clearly that the pro tem should be elected once every 6 years, and whereas in the same Article 7, the Constitution provides for a clause of removal by 2/3 majority of the Senate, the removal of a pro tem. And whereas that same constitution is also silent on the succession or the replacement of the Senate pro tempore, if removed, I will move if I can obtain a second, that the matter be referred to the Supreme Court for interpretation.
Distinguished senators, I will not be long because this is clear. Crystal clear.
According to Star Review.
That local article 47, they put in a specific word once. Then that local article 38 of the Constitution. That local article 38. That local article 38. Please, we now enter my court. We're talking law. Article 38 gives you the right to put in place your own rules. But the Constitution never stopped there. Look at the last sentence in the Constitution. It says you must not make any law that will contradict or contravene or the provision of this Constitution. That provision is erecting a checkpoint. You can make your rule, but don't once. And so, the advisable thing to do here is for us to put in our rules, our succession. Because the Constitution already banned us from election more than once. Thank you very much.
Sarah Michael, followed by Senator Chair.
Liberian Constitution was written after, or in the context of the United States Constitution. We got to look at the constitutional context and the language and the reason why the framers chose certain words. There are two issues here. Let me take the issue of the presidency, for example. The reason why the world wants in the Constitution was not you, you're the basis. And the Constitution is very clear on how the president should be elected. The Constitution says president's term of office is 6 years. And the president elected along with the vice president. And the president dies, the president resigns, the vice president succeeds the president, and the president tenure. In the event, the president, the office of the president and vice president become vacant, a new president elected because the speaker or the succession as described by the Constitution. That person resigns for 90 days. And a new election is held. When that election is held, and that person, assume a president remain in office for just 1 year, who was elected for a 6-year period, remain in office for 1 year. Both the president and vice president, for instance, they resign or they are removed from office. Or he died. The new president who is elected, is elected for a new 6 years. A new term, even though that first president was elected for 6 years, but that new president. No. Listen to me. A new president elected when the
it may become full term.
Yeah, because there was an interim period.
Even though the first president was elected for 6 years, that new president is not ending until the president. However, in the instant case when it comes to the House Speaker and protest, my brother said that boy is right. Very correct. And what the framework you the team wants. You can't put it 3 times. Even though I'm elected, the new president, whoever will be elected will end that 6 years. Even though that's very different. And all my colleagues in the law school, most of my colleagues who are lawyers going to law school, our practice here tells us whenever there is no precedent law in Liberian law, we refer to American jurisdiction. Well, let's look at the House of Representatives, Congress, recently. They remove the speaker. They remove the speaker. The Republican, even though they had the right to find a new speaker, they took almost 3 weeks trying to find somebody to be elected. Yes. What does the constitution say? It's the same thing. It's the same practice. It's the same practice. My concern there is, how is a protest removed from office? We need to define the problem by which do we just go sign a resolution, who just sign resolution? Who just sign resolution to protest or do we start a committee that will investigate the protest? That the 2% by that is not your rule. It's not your rule. It's not your rule. We need to define that. That's the most important thing here. So, for instance, I can just get that one day, the going one corner and start resolution and say protest is removed. We need to set up a committee that when you have issue, you must complete the protest. The protest will be investigated. That investigation report should come back to plenary, and the vote should be taken. Not just for look at what they were doing in the house. They want to move out, they just come around it. I give you 50,000 now, you sign it, you can't remove it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Protect the speaker.
I don't know what the most important argument here is how do we remove somebody from office? How do we remove somebody from office? That's the most important thing. Once everything they will protest removed, the successor must be elected. And that successor will end the 6-year term. But how do we remove a protest to be the issue? Because I'm afraid that when I use political media, one day you're going to put it on bed with you because one day you get by the your paper now, put it on bed with you, just have a resolution. No. What is important is to find
I'm saying
the rules to be clear on the procedure to remove somebody from office. The true process, there should be a committed responsible to investigate.
Would you discuss that at a retreat?
They want to discuss on a retreat. We suggested a retreat.
But to tell them we like of course.
Because we know what's there.
You are disrupting the speaker.
I think they always in the protest. No reason is a reason. So my protest. It's a rule. You suggested like the rule. I didn't see it then. The committee responsible for committee on ethics.
Was there rules and ethics and grievance?
Of course. Yeah. So we not get one money, somebody get bad.
You say nothing, that's the difference.
I don't want to just proceed. On the succession issue, it was very clear. Even by practice, our president is very clear that you can remove a protem, to replace that protem, there must be an election. That will say end the unexpired tenure. The controlling president and law. What is important for the Senate to debate is not the issue of whether or not there should be an election to replace a protest if in the event a protest is removed. That issue has been settled. That issue has been settled. Even by practice, it has been settled. Consistently has been settled. And the president said it's very clear. The reason why this is, like I said, the reason why they use the thing one is because you can have, when they elect you, but you can continue your own tenure. You can't continue your own tenure. The reason why you use the word one. But in the president says you can continue your own tenure. No, I'm saying you can continue your own tenure. But you can have new election, but you can't continue your own tenure. But for the president, you can have new election, and the president can continue your own tenure. Whenever you have election for the president, it's a new tenure. But whenever there's an election for the presidency, there's a new tenure. But where there is a succession, there is no new tenure, you complete the unexpired tenure. But when it comes to the Senate, when you have election, you are ending the unexpired tenure of the president who has been removed. So that is not debate. So I feel and those who argue that there should be an election, so we should not argue that. What should be debated now is the form by which somebody can be removed or somebody can be expelled from the legislature.
For a cause.
When the committee,
You present in the Constitution. They say in the Constitution.
Okay, so
You can establish a court.
it
take one side, you're not closing.
Protest colleagues, this is an interesting debate. And the opinion I want to express may not be final opinion because I'm not an interpreter of the law. I think it's the judiciary, the judges that interpret our law. So if there's any disagreement with what we say here, and we think that there's a need to seek external clarification, we can do that. But here's what. The Constitution says that we must elect our president pro tempore once every 6 years. Once every 6 years means that in a cycle of 6 years. So in the event where something happens, say the pro tem is removed, or the pro tem is incapacitated, or the pro tem is deceased, it's that term that continues. That means a successor must be elected.
Thank you.
And that successor must serve only for the remainder of the term of the president pro tempore. And like my colleague from Magini just said rightly, in the law there is something called precedent. Now we say precedent, by P-R-E-C-E-D-N-T. That's how they pronounce it. They say precedent. We say precedent. There's something called precedent. And we are a common law country. So if our law is silent on any matter, we look to other common law jurisdiction for interpretation. So in our case, the U.S. constitutional framework is what we borrow. If you read our constitution, read the U.S. constitution. Almost everything identical. Maybe they just change one or two words or phrases and what have you. In the U.S. Congress, they have changed president pro tempore, they have changed speakers within their term. And they serve, they elected their successor, and they serve only for the remainder of the term of that officer. And that's it. And that is it. And my maybe you can talk with the Chief Justice or somebody in the judiciary. And the opinion will not be different. It will not be different. And that's what it is. That's all it means here. But once every 6 years, meaning that it must be that term. That one term, meaning that if you are elected after the president pro tempore leaves office or is removed or otherwise, if that person is elected, that person is not going to serve 6 years. No, that one term is that person that president pro tempore started is that term that will mean that person will serve to complete. That's it. That's it. And that's it. That's it. And the reason why, and the reason why the line of succession, in my opinion, in the logic of the framework of the Constitution, is because, you know, the president pro tempore presides in the absence of the president of the Senate. The Senate has a president. And so, in the absence of the president pro tempore, the president of the Senate, the president pro tempore presides. That's why I see the line of succession is not known. I mean, the president pro tempore, the president of the Senate is not there, the president pro tempore will be there. Right? President pro tempore will be there. That's why they did the Constitution, the framework didn't borrow. The American people who borrowed this in front, they didn't borrow the time. That's why they ended the line of succession there. It does not go down to committee members. No, it doesn't go there. There's no succession, say judiciary or executive or foreign affairs that will succeed to the president pro tempore position when the president pro tempore is out of office. Only temporarily that can be done. If you are absent for any reason, otherwise, yes, then that can be. Thank you.
Yeah, I won't be long. The chairman there with the subject on discussion sufficiently.
Thank you.
But I just would like to emphasize briefly, I won't be long. In the first instance, there are 3 separate but coordinated branches of our government, which we all know we are aware of. And the framers of the Constitution adequately dealt with the issue of succession for the executive branch of government. They intended that there should be succession in the executive branch of government. That's why they dealt with it adequately in the Constitution. They did not intend succession for the legislature or for the pro tem and speaker. That's why the Constitution withheld succession. And I said, the bill right there said, what the Constitution does not give, it withholds. And my second point I want to dwell on is that I keep hearing once. But something should be once. The Senate shall elect. Why are we not dwelling on elect? We're dwelling on once.
No, but it's clear now. It's there. That should be elected.
But it's already there. My point. You say elect once, right? So if the pro tem is removed and someone is set, is that election?
No.
Then you violate the Constitution.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Balance about once.
Elect. Why are we not telling elect? Because elect, some people think no once. So something must be done once. Election. So if the process is removed and someone is sent, is that election?
No.
That's not election. That's a violation. So I submit.
There's no constitutional succession. You're right. There's no constitutional succession.
The immediate two speakers are sent to that point very well. You know, the Constitution give us the right. But listen to my point. Listen to my point. There's a point that we should not overlook, and that is that point that has to do with establishing our own rules. That is key. Meaning we can decide, like the house does always, that the pro tem or the presiding can appoint the chairpersons of the committee. Will not be in violation of anything if we decide that. So it comes to the point of Honorable Nukwe. Pro tem must be elected. So if we decide our rules will provide for the pro tem to appoint committee chairs, then what is succession? You understand? So then there is no succession. So actually, the fact that the Constitution says once, it was intended to accentuate the point that Honorable Moi made. Because we had an argument in Basel. Others were saying, if a senator who has 9-year term is elected, that person has the opportunity. In fact, it was the former pro tem who said, once that person returns, once we return, that person continues. So that was the essence of that once every 6 years. To put a stop to that. So anybody who's elected will only stop at the point of that 6 years. But the mere fact that we will adopt a rule that will say the pro tem should appoint all the chairpersons is sufficient to discourage the point of succession.
Not all the chairperson. Chairperson?
The chairperson of the committee. I mean, we will adopt a rule that will say. It's not in the Constitution. Now what I mean?
Yes.
You understand? It's not in the Constitution. That's our rule. Our rule. Because I think it's not a guy in the house. So if we decide to do that, we're not in violation of the Constitution.
You're right.
So then how you deal with the issue of succession? So clearly, the person who will mount the podium to serve as pro tem must be elected in that specific position.
Thank you.
So I don't think we should debate it anymore. We don't need to go to Supreme Court.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Motion.
Madam President, I think the Senate has already formed the right path. My intervention is only to bridge the gap of the departure of the person that is signing the project that is leading and the period reaching the election of the new president coming.
Thank you.
So as contained in the old rule talking about the succession, I think there where it needs to be considered. The succession and succession, I mean the succession should be considered. That means we should get a clear time when that person that will act or coordinate the process for the election of the new person. I think that's what we need to strive in this law and in this our rules. The person that will act, coordinate the process that will lead to the election of the new person. I think we need to strive in this rule the duration of that person, because like the president, they gave a specific time when the president that will succeed the vice president, the president that will succeed the president, will be identified and go into office. So to me, I think we need to add up a month or two for the person that will succeed and that will coordinate the process of the election of the new protect. We're making laws of the world not to protect our term. We're not protecting our term.
They lawyer for them, they fire.
So, nobody else on the list. I think there are two issues. One of the issues was to change from Secretary of the Senate presiding to the President of the Senate. We maintain that. And we need to get a motion now on this debate. The motion? Let us know. So, you want to emphasize?
Protest, distinguished colleagues, having intellectualized the debate, I move that we can obtain a second.
Also, this debate is considering that, make a motion first.
I move that I can obtain a second that the proposed rule 19, which title suspension and removal of the President pro tempore and other officials of the Senate. I move that I can obtain a second that Rule 19, Section 3 be adopted with the proviso that in the event of election of the Senate pro tempore, the presiding officer of the Senate shall, the President of the Senate shall preside.
Right. That's the first motion.
What is the motion?
Your motion is for the President of the Senate to preside.
Yeah, the rule is as is. The only replacement right now is for the President of the Senate.
Okay, all right. So we maintain that, according to that motion, if you say the rule as it is, that when a President pro tempore is removed, there will be election for President pro tempore, but that person will serve only the remaining term. The remaining term of the President pro tempore that will be removed.
In the event of death, resignation, or removal of the President pro tempore, where election is called, the election will be decided by the President of the Senate, and the person replacing the President pro tempore and the unexpired term of the President, so the unexpired term of that legislature, which should be in the 6 years framework. So second. It's not.
With that motion, are you ready to vote? Ready. Are you ready to tell your chair?
I'll be ready to vote if the matter that discussed your vote. This matter goes to the Supreme Court for example. Yes. What time denied?
Clear, man.
Denied.
That is clear.
This matter is a constitutional matter. It needs constitutional interpretation. If any senator feels that interpretation should be done, whether we vote or not, they will
Is that right?
right. So it shows that it's interpreted. Senator Twine.
I will be ready to vote if the movement reinstate the motion.
I will be ready to vote if the movement clarifies the motion that the person elected to replace the pro tempore will end the unexpired term of the pro tempore. I listened to him, he said the job. I want to be specific, the pro tempore.
With no other readiness, are you ready to vote? The motion is clear. All in favor say yea. Against. Motion by Reverend Councilor Rachel Wood. And the chair. So we have one more. I think we can do that before we leave. Only one more is the one with the two committees. Because Rule 63 is already going for interpretation. So Rule 43 with the two committees. Rule 63 on the impeachment. Oh, we have complete two-third vote. So we will do the committees now with two-third we can come on and retreat again. We have three outstanding. Let me finish it. We have three outstanding. I think there are two committees that are hearing today. The people are already here.
Okay, don't matter.
So, the committee will just build consensus on there. That's why I have an issue. So let's read the committee 43 quick.
My AOBO
43.
Yeah.
Rule 43. Rule 43. The previous reading. Rule 43, committees. The Liberian Senate, Section 1, the Liberian Senate shall for normal business work and operate by and through the following categories of committee. Leadership Committee, the President pro tempore and the chairpersons of the following committees, all of whom, in pursuant to Rule 14, Section 3, are officers of the Senate, shall constitute the leadership of the Liberian Senate, naming the 8 committees and naming the standing committees. The proposed one, Rule 43. The Senate, amongst the modes of operation of the Senate, shall create legislative committees which are composed of small groups of members of the Senate formed to perform specific tasks. These include scrutinizing and making legislation, examining government policies, conducting inquiries and overseeing the functions of various ministries, agencies, and commissions. These committees play a crucial role in the legislative process by providing expert analysis, conducting investigations, and holding the government accountable. The Senate currently has the leadership comprising of the President pro tempore and the chairpersons of a number of committees, all of whom, in pursuant to Rule 11, Section 3, are officials listed from 1 to 11, plus other senators who are former President pro tempore of the Senate and the former speakers of the House of Representatives. 1. Committee on the Executive. 2. Committee on Foreign Affairs. Committee on Judiciary. The 2 new committees are the Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy and Environment. Yes, and Life and Mines. Their jurisdiction. their jurisdiction first.
They're 19 and 20.
Yeah, so we're dealing with the grievance and ethics committee on the next.
That's section 10 and 20.
The Committee on Lands and Mines, section 19. To whom shall be referred all proposed legislations, messages, petitions, memorials, and other matters relating to A. Geological and cadastral survey, mining, meteorology. B. Regulations, utilizations, conservation of national parks, wilderness areas, extraction of minerals. Rule 19, that's section 19. Rule 43, section 19. Then Rule 43, section 20. Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy, Environment. To whom shall be referred all proposed legislations, messages, petitions, memorials, and other matters relating to A. Exploration and exploitation of hydrocarbon and the manufacturing of all such products. B. Energy and their regulations, utilization, conservation, extraction of oil and gas, exploration and production. C. Exploration, production, storage, supply, marketing, pricing, and regulation of energy resources, including all fossil fuel, solar energy, and other unconventional or renewable energy resources. D. Environmental policies, programs, and projects. And E. Public land, air, and water pollution for the Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy, and Environment. Those are the two new committees. Madam President.
All right, so as per the retreat consensus, we have two committees, Senator Chair.
Yeah, I just want to point out that hydrocarbon, energy, environment. Hydrocarbon is a subset of energy. So we need to book hydrocarbon. Just say energy and environment. It's only to do that. Hydrocarbon is on energy.
Yes.
So we should say
energy and environment.
Senator Batikwa.
Also, I agree with the separation, but the environment is more related to land and mines than going to the hydrocarbon. So I think environment can be added to the land and mines. They are very related.
It's an autonomous agency. What do you feel? What would be sitting down?
Any other
So move.
No, formal motion, Senator DILLON.
Madam distinguished colleagues, having gone through the deliberation of Rule 43, Sections 19 and 20, to create a committee on lands and mines, as well as Section 20 to create a committee on hydrocarbon, energy, and environment. I move that these committees be endorsed and they constitute committees of the Senate, including our Senate.
With that motion, are you ready to vote?
Already.
Already led by Senator Chair.
As I pointed out, you can repeat hydrocarbon. Energy is new that hydrocarbon is on energy. State Committee on Energy and Environment.
Energy and Environment.
No, energy.
Energy is hydrocarbon.
Surpluses, who vigilant,
Senator Batikwa.
our readiness is Presiding, I will also recommend that land, mines, and environment, and agrocarbon should be the
With order on right now, guy, ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Again, we defer all other items to Tuesday. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So in the meantime, when I'm preparing, where is he?
When I get another